so far? Anything that is not clear from our previous session?
Sir, yesterday's session actually I did not do the lab. I will do it tonight for sure because I
Okay,
was little busy with personal things.
right.
So tonight I will do the lab, double machine.
Okay, devil machine. Right. Okay, cool. So for today's session, let me just remove this thing. I have my VPN running here, and the machine that we are going to do is bashed. Let's do bashed. Bashed. Transfer the ownership, reset the machine, and in this machine we are not going to use Metasploit.
Okay.
Okay. And tracking the progress, if I just take a look, we did in these Windows machines, we did blue legacy, and we did devil.
Yeah, three machines we, yeah,
Right.
blue legacy.
Yeah. So in Linux, today we are going to touch Linux and we are going to do bashed. Okay. So
Okay.
already deployed the machine, already resetted the machine, and it says 10, 10, 10, 68 is the target. 10, 10, 10, 68. Okay. Let's do ping. Okay, so I'm able to ping the target. So the target is up and running. Okay. I'll share the record. Right, so let's just stop it and create a new directory named bash. Let me see if I already have it. Yes, I already have a directory named bashed. Okay, so here let me see if I already have an nmap directory. We already have it. Let's do a clear screen. Okay, so we'll start with the very basic nmap scan. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is running. Let's do one thing. Let's run a full port scan behind the scenes. Okay.
Okay.
Nmap hyphen p hyphen hyphen n hyphen maybe v output all formats nmap scan 1. Okay, so I'm not going to save the output, or let's just save the output. Let's see what happens. So I have this full port scan running. Hyphen n is for do not resolve for DNS.
Okay.
Hyphen vvv is for
Verbosity.
triple verbosity. Okay,
Minus OA is aggressive scan, right?
which one?
Minus OA.
No, this is output all formats.
Output. Oh, okay, fine. All right.
Yeah. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Faisal. So we have our basic Nmap scans running, and what do we have here? We have only one port open.
Yeah, HTTP.
Okay, and we can see that only port 80 is open. That is HTTP. Okay, so okay, let's run a version detection scan against this port. What do you say?
Yeah.
Nmap hyphen p80 hyphen scv hyphen capital O output all formats. Nmap scan 2. Okay. Meanwhile, let me just see if I already have it in my nmap directory. Cat scan 2.nmap. I already have this scan in my directory, but still, let's not save it here.
Okay.
Just run it. Sudo bang bang. Undergoing version detection scan. Okay. So what can we see here? We can see the target operating system is Linux.
Linux.
So it
Yeah.
is Linux.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the version to Apache HTTPD 2.4.18.
Yeah. We have Apache HTTPD 2418. Right. Okay. And there is some sort of website as well running. I can see.
Yeah.
It's an Excel development site, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there is nothing more that we can do from here. So the only option is just to open it through the browser. Let's go. And here you can see that it says some sort of PHP bash. Hmm?
Yeah.
PHP bash helps a lot with pen testing. I have tested on multiple blah blah blah. So if you do not know what is PHP bash, what you're going to do, you're going to simply do a Google search,
Okay.
typing PHP bash, and I have this first website, GitHub link,
Yeah.
and it says PHP bash is a
Web shell.
standalone semi-interactive web shell. Its main purpose is to assist in PT where traditional reverse shells are not possible, blah blah blah. So the point is that one thing is clear, that is PHP bash is a web shell. And if I go back here, it says I actually developed it on this exact server. Okay. So from here I can understand that on this server PHP bash is also running. PHP bash is running, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing that I need to figure out is where it is running.
Yes.
If I just click on here and there, it takes me to the official GitHub page. Okay. Okay. I'm just exploring the website, nothing else. Okay. This way, I'm just exploring the website.
Okay.
Some sort of screenshots are here. Okay. Let's go to the GitHub page. And at the GitHub page as well, I can see these screenshots. Okay. So what else can I see? I can see for this PHP bash, there are two files, PHP bash dot PHP, PHP bash dot min dot PHP. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try to access these files right away. Let's do PHP bash. Maybe it is right here, PHP bash dot PHP. Not found. Dot min dot PHP. Not found. Okay, so probably this is available on in maybe it is available in some other directory. Okay, so let's
Okay.
do one thing. Let's start with our directory brute forcing. Huh?
Okay.
Let's go here. Let's do. How can I do directory brute forcing?
Like you have to go to the path like user share
Yeah, that is for the word list.
word list. Yeah, you have to go to the word list, or you
So
can run some uh, tool like Hydra, Medusa, something.
no, Hydra Medusa is generally used for
Password.
password brute
Oh,
forcing
okay.
most
Okay.
of the
Okay.
times. Okay. So here we want to do directory brute forcing, and for that we have been using GoBuster.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, so we'll do
Darbuster. Yes. Yes. Yes.
GoBuster
Robuster.
dir hyphen u http hyphen w user share word list dub.
There is Darbuster also, right, sir? Darb.
Yeah, there are a lot of tools out there.
Hmm.
If I just show you, dub is also there.
Yeah.
Darbuster is also there. It's the GUI
Yes.
version of dub.
Yeah.
So GUI is now going to appear on this screen. This is Darbuster.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, there is GoBuster that I have installed.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. And there is something like dir search as well
Hmm.
available.
Okay.
Okay. So GoBuster dir hyphen u for URL hyphen w for word list. Let's press enter. Let it run. So I'm waiting for something interesting to appear here.
Okay.
And what I can see is there are files with 403s that are forbidden. Okay, 403 is for forbidden, and 200s are success and okays, and 300s are redirects.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I would be interested in the 200 and the 300s one. So let's see. I have nothing interesting in the 200 as it is index.html.
Index. Oh, okay. Okay. The main page,
This
right?
is the default.
Index.html.
Yeah. Right, the main page, the index page, or you can say the home page,
Yeah.
or you can say the landing page. That is index page. Okay. So I'm not going to check it manually as well. Instead, I'm going to go for the 300 ones. So I can see slash css slash dev slash fonts, and I have a slash uploads directory as well. Huh?
Okay.
Let's see. Let's try to check them out. Mm, some CSS files,
Yeah.
nothing much. Slash dev, and slash dev is very interesting.
Hmm.
You can see
Yeah.
why is it interesting.
Parent directory.
For
PHP.
PHP bash, that is your web shell,
Yeah.
and I have successfully found my web shell here basically.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm simply going to run it here. Who am I? And I am www data. Okay. So I have a shell over the server, right? Hello.
I'm able to hear, sir.
You you are not able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, now you're able to hear me. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Just,
So we got the web shell, right?
right. Uh, okay, let's get back. Anyways, so we have a web shell over the server. Now there are two ways from proceeding this point. Okay. One way is that I can just stick to this web shell and I can just continue using this web shell.
All right.
I can just stick to it and keep on proceeding with my exploitation part from here on. Another way is that instead of proceeding from the web shell, I just get my normal reverse shell on my terminal and then proceed on, then
Okay.
proceed further. Okay. So I would be going for the second option, that I need to get a reverse shell on the command line on my terminal, and then I'll proceed further from here.
Okay.
So let's just see how can I get a reverse shell back. Let's check out the languages supported here. Let's do which uh, Perl, Python, PHP, wget, um, cat, which Ruby. Okay. So here I can see that Perl is here, Python is here, PHP is here, wget is here. Okay, great. So let's do Python one-liner shell. I can do Python one-liner shell. I
Yeah.
can do PHP one-liner shell. I can do Perl one-liner shell. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, let's do one-liner reverse shells. Let's do bash TCP. But before that, let me just do which. Bash is also here. Okay, let's use this one. Bash should be this one. Bash TCP.
Okay.
Copy. Before using it, let's change the. This is the L host and L port.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
10, 10, 14, IPA, 14, 11. 10, 10, 14, 11. This is what I need to run. sudo nc-nvlp4242. I'm starting a listener here,
Okay.
listening for incoming connection,
Mhm.
and let's run this shell on the target server. Let's paste it. See if we get a shell.
Yeah. So we have to learn all this coding also, or I mean this Python, PHP, all these things we need to learn, or
It's like the very basics of programming should be clear. Okay,
okay, okay,
not the high level stuff, but the basics should be, fundamentals should be known.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's run sh. Let's see. I do not have a shell here. Okay. Let's do Perl one-liner shell.
Mhm. Bash UDP.
I can use this one as well. This is another shell. Let's do Perl. Uh, let's do this one. So I just want to edit the file before running. So
Okay.
10, 10, 14,
11.
11.
Yeah.
11. It's done. Let's select it and run it. Let's see if we have a shell here or not. Still, we do not have a shell. Okay, so maybe our one-liner shells are way too long for this target server to process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to download this file first of all on this target system and then get it executed.
Okay.
So who am I? www data pwd. I'm here. Let's do which which Python, which Python 3. Okay, both of them are available. Let's do Python sty, sorry, tty shell. Nope, this is not the one. I'm not able to recall the name. It was, yeah, pty. Yeah,
Okay.
Python pty shells. I'm just going to clone it locally on my system
Mhm.
and cd/opt. I already have it cloned. It
Okay.
is here.
Okay.
You just do git clone like this, and
Yeah.
it is going to be cloned.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just do cd. So I'm going to use this file, Python pty shell handler, no, Python pty back connect.
Okay.
This is a reverse shell written in Python.
Mhm.
So let's just copy it. Let's just cp this one, tcp pty back connect to where? Let's get it to here, pwd.
Mhm.
and let's do ls here. When I did ls here, you can see tcp pty backconnect.py.
Yeah.
Okay, let's remove this file. This is unnecessary right now.
Mm.
Now I have this file. Let me just rename it to some small file.
Yeah.
MV
Mm.
python reverse shell dot py. Oops.
Yeah.
Renamed it. Let's
Yes.
edit it before running. In here, I need to change this thing.
IP address. Yeah. I'll host 10,
This is
10, 14, 11.
and the L port should be, let's make it 9632.
Okay.
Or I already have a listener running
4245.
that, yeah, but I'm not going to use that listener.
Ah. Okay.
When I'm using this type of Python shell, I need to use this specific handler that can handle this shell. So I'll be using this TCP pty shell handler.py for this shell.
Mm.
Okay. I'll show it to you. 9632 is fine. Let's just save this file, close it. Let's start a shell handler here. Python handler 10, 10, 14, 11 and port. -B is for bind. So here my reverse shell, the listener is running. Let me just close the listener from here. I don't need it anymore. And let's upload this file, Python. Let's grab the shell. The name of the shell is this. Copy it. Let's do wget and http 10, 10, 14, 11 slash pyrevel shell. Let's do enter. Permission denied. I cannot write here. Let's do cd slash temp and let's do it here. I have successfully downloaded it.
Mhm.
Let's do, the file size is 687. Let me just confirm it here. Yeah, so the file is transferred. Let's run it. Python, run it here, and let's get a shell here. So I have a shell back here.
Okay.
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 Okay, so this much part was very easy.
Mhm.
Let's do pwd, who am I, www data. Let's go to home directory, ls, and doing an ls, I can see that there are two users here,
Mm.
Elixir and script manager. So
Yeah.
let's try to explore them. Let's do ls-lar. So I did ls-lar to list all the files in this directory and
Okay.
whatever is inside these directories and inside them.
Mm.
Okay. So from here, I see that in my pwd, we have this thing. Inside the Elixir directory, I have this thing.
Okay.
Inside nano, nothing. Inside script manager, nothing. Okay. So I have my user flag here.
And sudo. Yeah. User.txt is there.
So let's do cd and go to Elixir. Can I read this flag?
Read. Yeah.
Because we have read permissions to others as well. So I can read the flag.
Yeah. Mm.
Now it says sudo as an admin successful. It's an empty file I can see,
Mm.
0 bytes. Still, I can try to read it. No, no output. Let's do sudo -l. So from here, I realize that maybe this is trying to give me a hint that you need to do sudo. So again, I am doing this thing because I know it. For you, when you are doing privilege escalation, what you need to do is you need to refer to this PyR2 Linux privilege escalation guide.
Yeah.
When you are going to go here, when you are going to go through this thing, you will see first option is kernel exploits.
Yeah.
You should check it first, then go ahead. I did not check it because I know it is not vulnerable here. Exploiting services running as root. Exploiting SUID executables. Exploiting sudo rights, the fourth part. That's what I'm doing here. Sudo -l prints the commands which we are allowed to run as sudo. Okay,
Okay.
so do one thing. Just read a little bit about sudo. Okay,
Okay.
and let me get a glass of water and I'll be right back.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm back. Let's see. So
Okay.
I hope you know what sudo does is sudo allows us to run something with
Privilege.
the
Yeah. The commands. Like if I'm a user, if I want to execute some command which are root user can do, those commands I can perform with sudo, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So I can run some certain commands that can only and only be run by root. I can run them using sudo.
yeah,
I do not need to be a root user to run a root command.
exactly.
So now when I did sudo hyphen L here, you can see that it says script manager colon script manager no password all. So what does this mean? This means that I, as a www data user, I can run uh, all the commands as script manager user.
Mm.
I cannot run it as root user, but I can run it as script manager user without the need of any password, and I can run all the commands.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this thing quickly. Let's use sudo hyphen u script manager, and then what next? I can do, let's say,
A script manager is a user, right?
yeah, script manager is a user.
Okay.
So I can use sudo to run certain command as root, and I can use sudo to run certain commands as another user as well
Okay.
using this flag hyphen u.
Okay.
So whatever I'm going to provide after this, it is going to run that command as script manager user. Okay.
Okay.
So let's spawn a shell here, bin bash, press enter, and you can see I'm script manager now.
All right.
Who am I? Script manager.
Mm.
Good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So what have we done here? Where is my annotate button? Just I cannot see my annotation button. Why? Uh, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see my screen.
Now I cannot see your screen. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, I was just looking for the annotation button, but I cannot find it. I don't
Mm.
know where did it go. I wanted to write something here. Uh, okay, no issues. So we'll continue like this only. Let's go here. Let's do. So what we did here was, first of all, we had www data user.
Okay.
Then we escalated to script manager. This is privilege escalation,
Mm.
and this is not the end because we want to escalate our privileges all the way to the root.
Yeah.
So maybe in between I am going to become RXL and then become root. That is also an option.
Okay.
Okay, maybe this can happen, or maybe after script manager I directly become root.
Yeah.
That is also an option.
Mm.
Once I become root, everything else is secondary.
Mm.
I can do anything. I can access anyone. I can read anything, write anything.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Then what should I do now to escalate my privileges from normal user to root? So for this, we need to do local enumeration, system enumeration.
Yeah.
We have been able to do sudo hyphen L because we were trying to enumerate the user locally. This
Yeah.
is local enumeration only. Like you have the shell on the machine, and then you are trying to enumerate the machine locally. What is there, what is not there.
Mm.
Okay. So now this is a hit and trial process, that it's a tedious process that you need to do. just explore the machine, move here and there, just roam around here. Huh?
Yeah.
cd dot dot. Let's go all the way to the top. pwd. Let's do ls hyphen la, and there is something interesting here. Can you spot the difference?
Mm, I can see root directory.
Yeah, this is the root directory. I'm doing an ls hyphen la here.
Like a root folder, I can see root folder. This bin script. Can see user directory also.
Hmm.
Mm,
So during the Linux local privilege escalation, see what is important here. The important is that you should be having sufficient exposure with the Linux, that
yeah.
you have been using Linux for certain time,
Mm,
and you are used to it, and you are able to observe certain anomalies in there. Okay,
okay.
if there
Mhm.
is something not usual, you should be able to spot it.
Okay.
Okay, so what is not usual here? Let me show you. If I just go to my home directory, root directory here, if I just do ls-la, you can see all the directories here are having root permissions.
Okay.
But on my shell, you can see there's one directory
Scripts.
which is having permissions, which is created by script manager, and it is a part of script manager group.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm,
and this is not normal, this is not standard.
okay.
Okay, so see, I already know this solution. Okay, I
Mm,
have been doing this machine for so long,
mm,
so I right away landed up here. Okay,
yeah.
but when you are approaching a machine for the first time, it is going to be a very difficult for you to reach to this step,
Correct.
identify this folder. Okay,
Yeah.
this is only possible by hit and trial, looking here and there, looking for something, exploring,
Exactly.
going. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever machine we are doing here within 50 to 60 minutes or 70, 80 minutes, okay,
Mm,
when you are going to do this machine with a blank mind, it is
mm,
going to take you around about 7 hours, 8 hours, 10
exactly.
hours.
Mm,
Okay, okay. That's what makes it difficult. Okay,
yes.
that's what makes it easy looking and difficult doing.
Mm,
Easy looking, difficult doing. That's the thing here.
yeah.
Okay. So let's see. And I'm already script manager user. So I should be having some read write permissions on this directory, right? So
Yeah.
let's do cd scripts. I'm inside this directory, ls-la, and I can see there are two files here. And two files are,
S.py. Test.txt.
one is Python file, one is text file. The Python file is owned by script manager, whereas the text file is owned by root.
Mm,
Let's try to read them. Huh? Let's
yeah.
cat test.py cat test.text. So from here I can see it's a very small Python script. What it is doing is it is opening a file and it is writing something to the file. And
Mm,
what is it writing? It is writing testing 123 to a
mm,
file.
yeah.
Okay. It is basically opening a file named test.txt. I accidentally pasted it here,
Yeah.
but see, you need to focus upon this code here.
Okay.
What this is doing is it is basically opening this file and writing this to this file.
Mm,
And when I try to read this file, it says testing 123,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing is it is having root permissions, this text file.
Mm.
So, but the Python file is having script manager permissions.
Yes.
Why is this discrepancy? It is because this Python file is running as root. I'm not running it, but maybe there is some scheduled task behind the scenes which is running it as root.
Mhm.
If root user is going to run this file, the output file is going to be written as root permissions with root permissions. It's just like when we do nmap. If I just show it to you, whenever we have been doing nmap, cd nmap, these are the initial scans which are run by me without sudo.
Yeah.
These are the scans which requires sudo.
Okay.
So the output of that nmap is having root rights and permissions,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so when I did ls-la again, I can see that the time when this file was created was initially 5:30, and now this file was again created at 5:33.
Mhm.
So this file is being modified. Let's just
Yeah.
do date, and I can see it is right. The right now time of this machine is 5:33.
Mm.
Okay, so let's do date again. Let's do date again. 5:33, still 5:33. Let's do date again. 5:33. 5:34. Let's do date. Now it is 5:34, and I can see that this file was written on last modified on 5:34,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
So from here I can derive a logic that probably this test.py file is being executed repeatedly every minute with root permissions.
Mhm.
You can also derive this analogy here.
Yeah.
Getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if I just replace this test.py with my malicious Python file, malicious, let's say reverse shell written in Python?
Yeah.
What is going to happen? After 1 minute, root is going to execute this Python file, and I'll get a shellback with root
Yeah.
permissions, root
Yes.
privileges. No,
Yeah.
right? So let's
Yes.
do this thing.
Mm.
So we already have this pyrev shell.py. Let's just modify and change the report. Let's do cp let's do root.py. This is the file that I'm going to use for getting the root shell. Let's do mousepad root.py. Change the L port to 9633. Save it. I already have my server running, web server. Let me show it to you. Here it is running.
Yeah.
Let's just wget it. Wget http /10 10 14 11
Mm.
/root dot py. Output it with the name of test. Save the output in test.py. So I'm downloading this file and saving it as test.py,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And press enter. The file has been downloaded. Let's do cat test.py. We have the shell. Let's start a listener here. We have a shell here. Let's do date. What is the date right now? 5:36. So by 5:37, I am expecting it to get me a shell back.
Mm.
I have a shell back,
Yeah.
and you can see the
Right.
user is root.
Yeah, right.
Let's do who am I? I am root. Let's do cd/root ls-la. I have the root.txt, and finally rotate the file, rotate this thing, rotate this machine, and save the flag here. Assign the difficulty, whatever you feel like, and submit the flag. And this is how we successfully rooted one more machine. Okay. There were a lot of things to learn in this machine. Okay.
I think this one is comparing to our last three practical. This is very tough.
So
But
this,
no problem. I will go through the video.
yeah, right,
Then I will practice it. No issue.
right. Practice is the most important thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you are practicing enough.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, so that's all. Any doubts you have, you can ask me now. This is the time for the
Uh,
doubts.
So what I will do, first of all, I will perform the lab. If I have any doubt, I will note it and I will ask tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
And then make sure that you go for the bashed as well.
Yeah, sure, sure. I will do the both labs before 5 o'clock.
Right, right, right.
Sure.
Okay, okay, Faisal. Then
Okay.
so that would be all for today's session.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.